It's 2 a.m., July 7th, 1968. Inside Wells Restaurant in the most famous soul food spot in Harlem, a 62-year-old man sits eating with friends when suddenly, without warning, he clutches his chest. His name is Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson, the most powerful and most feared numbers kingpin Harlem has ever known. He had been out of prison for only 5 years, and a new federal case was hanging over his head. The doctors would call it a heart attack. But here's the question that still burns to this day. His daughter knew a truth the world didn't, and what happened to her after her father's death. The ending to this story is so dark, so tragic, you'll swear it belongs in a movie. But first, let's talk about the man himself, the man before whom all of Harlem bowed. Born on October 31st, 1905 in South Carolina, Ellsworth Johnson, the world called him Bumpy, came to Harlem and took control of the numbers racket, the illegal lottery that ran through every corner of the neighborhood. They say in his prime, every street, every shop, every man in Harlem was connected to his empire in some way. In 1954, he was sentenced to 15 years on drug charges, and part of that sentence he served inside Alcatraz, the most dangerous prison in America. When he walked out in 1963, his power was exactly where he left it. But here's the thing. As big a gangster as he was just as big a father. And that's the side of him that keeps his name alive even today. Bumpy had 2 daughters. One, Ruthie, was raised in his home with his wife Mamie, and the other, Elise, often spelled Elise, came from an earlier relationship. Elise was the girl who saw both faces of her father, the one that terrified the world, and the one that would do anything for his children. In today's hit series Godfather of Harlem, this same Elise is played by actress Antoinette Crowe Legacy. But here's something you need to understand. That show is full of drama, and the real-life record tells a different story. And that difference right there is what will carry you to the end of this tale. Now let's get to the question in the title. What was the truth that Bumpy's daughter knew? In the show, Elise struggles to live her own life away from her father's world, and there's a deep family secret that Bumpy and Mamie keep hidden, but that's fiction. The real truth is this. Bumpy's family knew the things no newspaper could ever print, how dangerous he really was, but also how deeply he loved. His wife Mamie wrote a book in 2008 called Harlem Godfather, in which she exposed many of the myths that had been built around her husband. She even denied the popular story that Bumpy was a puppet of the Italian mafia. That was the truth his daughter lived with every single day, a name the world saw as a curse, but at home, simply Daddy. Now listen closely because this is where the story takes its most heartbreaking turn. On July 7th, 1968, Bumpy's heart gave out. On the surface, it looks like the story ends there. But really, the saddest chapter was just beginning. After Bumpy was gone, Elise's life never came together. Reports say she struggled with addiction her entire life, and at times she even turned to shoplifting to support her habit. Then in 2006, fate struck twice in a single year. Both of Bumpy's daughters, Ruthie and Elise, left this world within months of each other. Elise's death was reported as a heart attack linked to substance use. Ruthie's cause of death remains a mystery to this day. And then came 2016, Bumpy's granddaughter Margaret, Elise's daughter, passed away at just 66 years old. First a heart attack, then a coma, then life support. A family that once lived like royalty was now surviving only on memories. Now you might ask, with all that loss, why is this name still alive? Because in 2009, 41 years after Bumpy's death, his wife Mamie passed away at the age of 94. But she left behind a book that tells the real story of the man the world only knows as a legend. And then came Godfather of Harlem, bringing Bumpy and his family back to life for a whole new generation. But always remember this. Behind everything you see on that screen, there was a real family. A family that lost the people they loved. The gangster myth fades with time, but the tragedy of that family, that stays forever. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends who love stories bigger than Hollywood itself. And tell us in the comments, What do you think the truth was that Bumpy's daughter knew that we don't? In the next video, we'll dig even deeper into that very secret. Until then, take care.